Welcome to the Eden Podcast, where we true the verse of Genesis 3:16, and we discover that God didn't curse Eve or Adam or limit woman in any way. We want to introduce some of our guests with a word about the impact of Tru 316 on their lives. Then we will present the Tru 316 Medallion Award to our special guest, Judy Douglas, and show you an overview of her ministry, speaking to groups, holding conferences, and meeting one-on-one in more than 50 countries worldwide.
Let me introduce our workshop leader. This is Mimi Ouimet from Lynchburg, Virginia.
Thank you, Bruce and Joy. I'm delighted to be here. It was about 3 years ago that I prayed this prayer. Lord, would you show me more of your word and what it means? I didn't want to do any more topical studies, but I just wanted to read the word and have more understanding and clarity. And would you use me to encourage people? So the Lord, I feel, really answered that prayer. And because it was shortly after that that I was introduced to the Eden podcast and the Tru 316 message. And it has been my absolute honor to work closely with Bruce and Joy Fleming these last 3 years. And their phenomenal research has made such a wonderful impact in my life. And I have such a joy and passion to share it with others. So I feel very blessed. My main job, like Bruce mentioned, is to teach and lead the Tru School Workshops. It is based on the 4 books he mentioned in the Eden book series. And we do this in a small group type setting where you can learn and process with others. So it's a really good format. We do it on Zoom for 1 hour over just 6 sessions. So each book is only 6 hours to learn the material. But doing the workshop via Zoom has afforded us to be able to not only meet people from all over the country, but around the world. So I've had students from Canada and Europe, Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and Asia. And so I've always loved the countries and meeting people. And so it's been an added blessing and joy to be able to meet everyone. Like Joy had mentioned, we study the passage in context, the Hebrew or Greek words, and the literary patterns that convey meaning. Something I never knew about, parallelisms, chiasms. But guess what? It's all easy for us to learn who aren't scholars in a really easy format. The books are very easy read and easy to understand the concepts. So don't be scared away from that. And we've heard so many, which has been so wonderful, about how understanding these passages has helped answer their questions and bring clarity to their confusion, and how it's really changed their lives for both women and men and couples. So I have both on the workshops, and it's just wonderful. And we have 4 very special guests here today that traveled and drove long distances, and they've been former workshop students of mine, and I got to meet them in person this weekend, so it's just been really special. And they're going to come share with you just briefly how it has impacted their lives. But first, I want to introduce April, and she's local. And she has worked closely with us also, and we really appreciate everything she does, and she's done some unique workshops too. So April, would you come share?
It has been an honor to stand here today in recognition of the Tru 316 Foundation and for the transformative work being done to restore the true meaning of Genesis 3:16. For too long, mistranslations of this passage have sown confusion, uncertainty, and division, shaping how we understand relationships between men and women, and ultimately all of humanity. But correcting these translations is not just an academic pursuit. It is a necessary step in restoring relationships. Honoring one another and building a future where both men and women thrive together. I have had the privilege of facilitating Tru 316 studies with a group in Uganda, and they are supposed to be live streaming and listening in. I told them about it, and we were so excited. Each session, we gather, men and women alike, to learn, discuss, and reflect on the corrected translations. These studies are not just about knowledge, they are about transformation. For 2 hours, we wrestle with the scripture, and what we find is powerful hope. Hope that relationships can be strengthened, hope that the gifts of both men and women can be celebrated and respected, hope that entire communities can flourish when we embrace the mutual relationships God intended from the beginning. This message of restoration is for everyone. When hierarchical teachings distort relationships, no one benefits. Men, when always placed in authority, miss out on the depth of true partnership. Women, when permanently subordinated, are unable to fully walk in their God-given purpose. But when we return to what God originally designed before the attack in Genesis 3, mutual love, mutual respect, and mutual flourishing, we discover the beauty of true community. The work of the Tru 316 Foundation is not just about correcting words on a page. It is about restoring what has been lost. It is about healing, honoring, and uplifting all people so that we can walk forward together in the fullness of God's truth. And for that, I am deeply grateful.
Tru 316 Foundation is the home of the Eden podcast. Join us for $3.16 a month or more. Let's true the verses on the key passages on women and men. Go to tru316.com/partner. Tru 316 is strengthening and encouraging many, and we're getting stories every day of lives changed through our ministry. We're the home of the Eden podcast, and we're getting the word out that God didn't curse Eve or Adam or limit woman in any way. Our volunteer help is wonderful, and we grow stronger with each new Tru partner who gives to the Tru 316 Foundation so that we can cover the costs to do the technical work of the Eden podcast, to coordinate our Tru School Workshops like the 2-week Eden workshop on Genesis 2 and 3, and to make the Tru 316 Foundation function in its outreach to scholars and students around the world. You can give now with a one-time gift. And better still, you can join now and become a monthly donor. We call our monthly donors our Tru partners. Please join now by going to tru316.com/partner.